Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, I am playing the Tier 8 Pan-European destroyer Öland. It's a really fun destroyer I like very much, and I opted to play it in this game because I had a mission to get torpedo hits and or floods, I think, or fires. Anyway, I might normally have pulled out Holland for that, or Småland, or even Östergötland, but I hadn't played this ship in a long time. Now, it's a fairly new line, but I liked it so much when they came out that I worked up to 3 19-point commanders. I had one in the Tier 10, Tier 9, and Tier 8. Now I haven't got this to 21 yet, so it's still 19-point commander, and that'll be, you'll be able to see that. That'll be in the thumbnail for this particular match. So you'll be able to see what I've got those 19 points in right now. And it's a fun ship to play. I really like it. It can be a little surprising, especially if you're top tier. But in this game, matchmaking's pretty ugly. I've got a CV in the game, a couple of ships with radar for sure. You've got a Missouri and a Des Moines, and possibly a Neptune, although Neptune probably has smoke. There's a fair amount of hydro in the German cruiser line. So, while it's not impossible to land torpedoes, it'll be a little bit of a challenge. I have to hope somebody either sits in place, hides behind a rock, or smokes up, and that I catch them. Now the enemy CV, is going for the pair of Drakes and the ZF-6 on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and make for this cap, and maybe I'll have an opportunity to put torpedoes on something early. And I'm really hoping to be able to get this cap secure before I get the attention of the enemy CV. So what am I doing here? Well, I'm turning around, because as soon as I cross the threshold of this cap, the bad guys know that I'm there. And if there's a DD on the other side of this cap, which there very, very well may be, you can see the Östergötland was up there for sure. You can see the last known position marker. I don't want to eat a torpedo. So I'm going to back in, which allows me to accelerate forward. I'll pause here for just a second because I see the aircraft coming this way. And it looks like maybe the aircraft are going to head south. So I'm going to go ahead and back into the cap. So if I need to get away, I can accelerate forward, which allows me to move much more quickly than if I've got my nose pointed toward all the red ships and I have to either turn around or reverse. Especially without smoke. Now you can see the Neptune just smoked up back there. I pinged him and he smoked up. Well, he smoked up for good reason, because anybody with any sense, as soon as they see a Neptune, they're going to put shells on it. It's got paper-thin armor, and just about anything can pen it or citadel it. So if you have a shot at a Neptune, you want to take it right away, and some of our guys did. But I expect he's going to sit there in the smoke, because if he backs up, he's not going to be able to shoot anybody because he's got an island right there. So I expect he's probably just going to sit right there in his smoke and expects that he has a little bit of time, not counting on these 80-knot torpedoes racing up there and slapping him around a little bit. 8 seconds and I'll have this cap. I just have to avoid eating any torps in the meantime. You can see I'm angled to be able to run. And since I'm just about got it, I'm going to go ahead and start running now. Torpedoes are about 3/4 of the way there. And I will get out here ahead of my larger ships to try and spot any more incoming torpedoes and or spot the enemy destroyer. You can see the Östergötland, he's already lit up. He must have fired at somebody. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 torpedo hits and 2 floods on the Neptune. Almost certainly the Neptune, right? I mean, it's possible somebody else went in the smoke with him, but almost certainly that was the Neptune. And Östergötland is down. Hindi finishes him off. I was positioned to be able to get guns on him, but I didn't have to. And there's something else out there, and the last known position indicator on the minimap tells me that's the Mainz. I do not want to get close to that ship. That's a fair amount of Daka that thing is capable of. I'll put a little welcoming party out there for Gascon. If he continues on his current heading and speed, he should meet up with those torpedoes. Now the Amagi on the other side, he went wide when everybody else went inside, and then he pushed forward, which was just suicidal. don't be that guy. You know, if the rest of your team moves inside, follow him inside. Because when you move outside like that, on that side, especially on this map, he had to know the Kagero was there. I knew. You could see it on the mini-map. Had the attention of the CB. All of his support was quite some distance away. Now we got a Drake basically repeating the same mistake. If you want to go for a cap, go for Bravo. So our Drake is pushing into a ruined Kagero. Well, Des Moines, Bombern, Alsace. Far too much for him to handle alone. Now you may have noticed that the Neptune still has a lot of hit points. Well, these torpedoes are not known for incredible alpha damage. They do provide a lot of opportunities to get flooding. Now I'm sitting here right now because I was debating about whether to put guns on Lepanto, but if I do, Gascon's going to still have me in range. And I do not want to take a whole bunch of damage early in the game. Go ahead and get the AA working. I think Gascon hit the turbo and just ran right out from in front of my torpedoes. And you can see, just being even detected for just a few seconds with my AA, I had secondary fire coming my way. Okay, so we've managed to secure the Alpha Cap. The bad guys, the Lepanto of all things, a battleship was able to secure the Bravo Cap. Which is just nuts. Our Iowa Drake and Alsace, you know, at this point in the game, I'm thinking, what the heck were they thinking? And now I'm thinking the same thing about why is Iowa pushing in here? He's got a Gascon on one side, along with a Missouri. They're going to be able to shoot him between the gaps in this island. He's got a Neptune out there that could throw torpedoes through that gap. And he's got Alsace and Portland on the other side, plus the Lepanto, plus the attention of the CV. But in he goes. I'll get up here and try and help with AA. And don't even have to really, but... has taken the lead. And just like that, our JB takes out the Neptune, our Hindi takes out the Missouri, and our Iowa catches the Gascon. And suddenly the enemy team is in dire straits. We're down 3 ships, and they are down 7 ships. We're probably going to have 2 caps here in a minute. Maybe a minute, somewhere in that ballpark. I'm expecting Iowa to keep taking fire and resetting the cap. Now I got to be careful here. I don't want to throw torps directly in the advance of the Iowa because it looks to me like he's just pushing straight in. I was tempted to go ahead and drop anyway, but I think our Iowa just was kind of, well, in for a penny, in for a pound, and just going for broke. Alsace is probably going to spin around and go the other direction. Yeah, it looks like he's already started that. He's either going to commit to the ram or try and avoid the ram and hope he and Pomeran can finish off our Iowa. So I've got torps out on his likely location, if he survives this encounter with the Iowa, but he doesn't. There's a ram, and that's that. Those ships are both gone. Now I need to try and secure the cap. Hope I don't take any shots here. And that's another cap down. I did have a little help there from the Drake. You can see the enemy CV, he's in trouble. And why show you this game? Well, not only is this game, I mean, it's a fun ship to play if you're not familiar with it. It's a lot of fun to play. The whole line is. But also because, in keeping with a video that I made not too long ago, it's sometimes not about damage. I mean, I have done a little bit of damage. I landed a couple torpedoes, well, 4. But I've been able to provide a little bit of vision for my team. Not a lot, but a little bit. I've been able to secure 2 caps, and that's provided a lot in terms of points. I don't want to torpedo my friendly Drake here. I happen to know the player of the CV, the enemy CV, he's a very good player. And I can't help thinking he might have been a little frustrated with the team. I've got torpedoes out there that I was really hoping were going to be able to get there for Lepanto, but nope. Badly misjudged where he was going. He finishes off our Alsace, and I'm just trying to start fires. I'm watching my angles to the Pommern. I'm in the Pommern's hydro range now. And Missouri finishes off Lepanto. Now this game's all over.
Victory is in sight.
And we get back to the really fast reload on these torpedoes. Now the hydro is... it's going to spot these torps the second they leave my ship, but they're so fast. He may not be able to avoid them. And if he does, he's having to stop, basically. And if he stops, well, then he's probably going to die. That's 2 hits. 2 more. And he's got his heel working, but it's not going to do him any good. 1 shot from Jean Bar and he's gone.
Engine boost activated.
Now you can see the Kagero there. He's at the south end of the Charlie Cap behind the island. He's moving into position to be able to get guns on me and torpedoes on the Drake. He's got the CV harassing him with aircraft. And I know he's just south of me, so I'm going to position for that. This was not a stellar game. I did manage to land 8 torpedoes, 70,000 damage, picked up a couple caps. And I'm in position with the help of our CV to finish off this Kagero, which is what I'm about to do. Our Drake's going to get, he's going to get just north of the island. He's going to lose vision. He's not going to be able to help. But the CV's got him spotted. I'm going to get the torpedoes out there. And now I know that this game's probably over. So I will say thank you very much for joining me. If you haven't tried this ship line, I really encourage you to give it a whirl. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.